Hey everyone, I'm Selena Hill, and welcome to another episode of The New Norm on Black Enterprise. Today I'm speaking with Brooklyn born fashion designer Romeo Hunte, who has redefined luxe urban streetwear since launching his own label in 2014. Since then, he has dressed everyone from Zendaya to Hailey Bieber to Michelle Obama and even Beyonce. James Harden, Dwayne Wade, and Victor Cruz have also been seen sporting his designs. Romeo, thank you so much for joining me today on The New Norm.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So I've actually been to a couple of your shows during New York Fashion Week. But for those who don't know, how would you describe your brand and what sets you apart from other fashion labels?
Mhm. To kind of just knock it out in a nutshell, my brand has a combination of like streetwear and tailoring, combining both different worlds. That's something that's classic and also that you can wear from day to night. What really sets me apart from the others, I would say, is my vision and my drive and my my eye for detail. And me as a hybridist, I'm very much attracted to a lot of the silhouettes, the American silhouettes, like everything from your trench coat to your biker jacket and your denim trucker jacket. Combining those two or those three together to kind of create something that's outside the box, the future in fashion, and creating my own narrative and my own language of like what is the norm today and what is your new statement code is the main focus. Yeah.
So, being born in Brooklyn, what influence has that had on your designs, your fashion, and just your outlook on life?
Yeah. Well, Brooklyn is like a big deal to me. Being born and raised in Brooklyn, I was raised in Flatbush. Went to like my elementary was like a very diverse elementary school where it was kind of like it kind of inspired me to more on the tailoring side because my mother and when I was a child she only dressed me in like only boots or shoes. When I was in middle school and in high school, that's when I was like copping every new Jordan and kind of mixing it in with everything like my day-to-day wardrobe, and that kind of stuck with me. I got built friends and everything, and really just began to really get the culture and streetwear and kind of mixing it with the tailored look together. And also like 90s hip hop and pop culture really spoke to me. Everyone from Biggie, Diddy, Little Kim, Foxy was a big deal, and I used to always want to like look as fresh and dope as Fly as Dumb. And it just that all spoke to me to kind of like mix that in the ethos of who Romeo Hunt is today.
Beautiful. When we think of Brooklyn, and shout out to Flatbush, by the way, it literally
Mhm.
is its own culture within a culture. The
Yeah,
sound, the look, the language.
the
It is
language.
definitely
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, for sure. It's like, it's been a big deal for me. Like when I put What's Good on Tommy's Ithaca striped shirt, I was like epic. And Brooklyn was like Brooklyn stand up. Everyone, like, it's like my way of like communicating with my community, my people. And also like, changing the narrative of fashion. I feel like it's so much change and there's so much room for the culture.
Oh, absolutely. There's so much room. And shout out to that dog, by the way, which is the cutest thing, making a
He's
cameo during
popping
our
up. Yeah.
interview. He is so cute. Um, so that being said, how would you say, Romeo, your work is sort of changing the landscape of streetwear?
Yeah. Well, I would say like, mixing like recently I just went to the British Fashion Awards and the outfit I wore, almost everyone was drawn to this look. So to me, it was very Brooklyn to me because I had like the Yankee baseball cap and it was a denim suit, but the back of the detail of the back of the suit was all suiting. So mixing those worlds together was just something that, really shaking the game up. It was a black tie event, so for me to kind of pop out with a denim suit and the veil kind of made it very formal, and on the veil was all embroidered pop out what's good hood and real talk, and that brought like it started a lot of conversation with everyone from Edward Enninful to John Galliano that was like, wow, you look amazing. And they appreciated the look, you know, especially coming to the British Fashion Awards with a great statement look like that. That's, it was definitely a vibe.
You bringing Brooklyn to London on that red carpet, you're bringing it to high fashion. You represent it so well. Like, I just wanted to say, just commend you for that, because to
Thank
mesh
you.
those two worlds, I feel like a lot of times what happens is we
Yeah.
feel like we need to conform. Like, we'll grow up
Mm,
in Brooklyn, in Queens, and Harlem. And then when we enter these new worlds, we have to like code switch, or, we don't always feel as
yeah.
comfortable. But like, I really feel like you're paving the way to bring who you are to the world
Hmm.
of fashion. Can you talk about like your sense of identity,
Hmm.
individuality, and what makes you so confident to just show up as you are?
I think it's just, being born and raised in New York and in Brooklyn, a black young designer. When I first started designing, my parents and like my family really was nervous about me making that decision. And I knew I was up for a challenge, but at the same time, I knew I had a lot to bring to the table. So me pushing forward in fashion, like, working with different models and working and pushing fashion forward, it's always been like I knew I had to come with a message. I had to be myself, and I also experienced a lot of like big houses and designers knocking me off. So one thing I noticed is that they can't beat me. I'm the best me, and I feel like going deeper into my culture and who I am and my experiences and bringing that to the forefront is art, is a story, and it's a straight it's more of a more of a stronger point of view, what I'm trying to say. And that's just something unique, if you be yourself and add that to the collection with the balance of like my taste level for detail and everything. I think that was just a great combination. Even with the collaboration with Tommy, we had so much in common. Tommy's from New York, I'm from Brooklyn. And, when it comes down to Manhattan Prep meets Brooklyn Street, that was epic. Not just that, a big, major design house, iconic brand, collaborating with a new designer coming into the game. It was like what Tommy says, like an old icon, an epic moment, but also a new icon coming into the game.
Oh
I
yeah.
think that works so much best, especially in this day where it's like you have Balenciaga and Gucci collaborating. That was definitely very unique and definitely taking a step and also breaking down so many barriers, inspiring the culture and younger designers like me to know that they can do it too.
Yeah, no, there's so much to unpack there, Romeo.
Hmm.
I want to actually dig a little deeper into the Tommy Times Romeo capsule that came
Hmm.
out this summer. Brilliant, beautiful collection. If you can just tell us more about this capsule collection with iconic fashion designer Tommy Hilfiger.
Yeah, so it all started in 2020. I called Tommy. Tommy, I was like, "Hey, I'm almost complete with my collection, but I wanted to add I wanted to add something fresh. I wanted to add something that was unexpected to the show, and I had an amazing idea of going into Tommy's archive and like taking a few of those pieces and upcycling it. And he was 100% in and down for it. And, I thought it would be like, to me, I thought it would be a lot of rules to it. And really, honestly, he opened up that door just to his personal archive and just say, go ahead and play. And it all started with a overcoat and combining an overcoat with a denim jacket and a biker jacket that hybrid kind of hit the industry so hard. And like, I feel like everyone was really paying attention to the details. But unfortunately, the pandemic kind of hit, interrupted that moment. But during the pandemic, we came up with, we was like, let's just do it again. Let's do it bigger and better. And, let's do this on an international scale. And so I partnered with Tommy, also the People's Place program. I'm the first actual Black designer to, um, kick out the door designer to work with the People's Place program, and also first designer to collaborate with Tommy Hilfiger, the brand. So it was just kind of like, the same thing going. It started with the archive, mixing both worlds. We had so much in common. So I really thought about everything from taking the train in Brooklyn, the MTA print. It spoke to me. I wanted to really connect that with one of Tommy's classic, well-known button downs, and also epic Ithaca print. So the colors, we kind of took those pops of colors, put those into a button down. The button down had all the branding, the logo together, and then also it had embroidered on the torso, "What's good." That was like a way, Brooklyn terminology of saying, "Hi, how you doing?" kind of thing. Um, Also, we had like a really cool hybrid short to match. Then the most thing I was really excited about with this collaboration is that I got to actually work with the accessory team. So I came together with this cool kind of hybrid boot between like a Timberland and a duck boot together, which everyone loves it, with the mixed media of the denim, gabardine, and leather. Um, then the coats came in. We did the coats. It was just more just like thinking about those classic silhouettes, combining them, working with the colors, between like everything from the stripe that we built from the MTA print and carrying it through the collection, that we wanted it to be very wearable. Also, one of the main focus was like dual gender, to make sure that, these pieces like for men and women that, could take these pieces, style it, and make it their own. Also, it was like when it came down to, let me see, I wanted my pieces to make sure I had my stamp and my signature on it. So a lot of them was like, removable sleeves, drop shoulder, drop waist. So it's many different ways that you could wear these pieces. And I really wanted to create something that was very seasonal, so people could wear all year round. And something that had an impact, and that could also reflect back to 90s hip hop and what Tommy meant to me when I was in high school. How did I rock it? What really drawn me to the brand, and why? Like, it was all about the why. Like, why did I wear this in high
Oh
school?
yeah.
Everything from like the bags that we designed. It was all about thinking back, like when I had to actually carry a lunchbox to school, and that with like a luxury trunk, those two worlds together kind of came together with this really cool handbag that has also like a crossbody, and it's also could be a satchel for men or a crossbody, bag for women. I think it was definitely breaking a lot of barriers, and also,
Oh
reflecting
yeah.
a lot with the culture and the styling and street style. And it was very Brooklyn. Like, you can actually see it in all the images. A lot of the images I wanted to think back of, like, in high school or junior high school, when, you had that day of picture day, it was called. So when that day of picture day, everyone would dress in like their flyest gear to show up to actually take their picture, either for the yearbook or for, images for their family. So we wanted to
Right.
reflect what all those elements of like what Brooklyn meant, like, what Brooklyn means to me, what Tommy meant to me, and how we could bring
Okay.
that together and reimagine that today.
So when we hear you talk about Tommy Hilfiger, the question is, how did this relationship come about? Romeo, I actually read that you described him as more than a mentor, but a godfather. When and how did you two meet? And how did you cultivate that relationship to evolve into what it is today?
Yeah, so me and Tommy met through a mutual friend. She's like family to both of us. And it was just kind of like from that moment, I showed him my collection and we connected right away. He really admired my drive, and also I admired Tommy's work ethic. And I think it was just so much we had in common. It was not so much I had to really say. It's just like, I think he's seen all of the hard work, and over each season, like, the hurdles I had to jump over in the industry, and to, like, sustain and to remain being an amazing brand. And he also always gave me great advice, backed me with a lot of everything from financial backing to, like when there was issues where we had to pull through, and to like just advice, and just like, pushing like the times that we really had to really figure out like how could we pivot as a brand. And I think, it's always been great advice. And we connected so well that it got to the point that, I think that it was like, how could we get the world to really see like how hard, and your great work on a bigger scale, and how could we celebrate you as a brand and
Mm.
upcoming designer. So it just was I think it was just more like the chemistry, really. It was just the chemistry and the connection from day one,
That's what I
and
was
it
going to
just built
ask.
from there.
Did he just see something in you? I read that Tommy says he sees a lot of himself, his younger
Mhm.
self in you, Romeo. Did he just see something and just take
Yeah,
you under his wing? Is that how that happened?
yeah, it was like, from day one, I think that he really did see himself in me. And also, he gave me a lot of great advice on to focus on outerwear and push that forward. And it's from there, it's just been like, we got to know each other really just by just working really close. And, we talk and text every other day. And, it's just, I think that with the ups and downs that he's seen, and also me being very perseverant, it just kind of reminded him of himself as well. And back in the day when he first started, and we both have something really good in common, that we both were self-taught. We didn't really, I didn't work for no amazing big brand or intern under no amazing big name. It was really just, I just had a vision. And I think with fashion and designing, it's either you have it or not. I think that he seen it from day one that I had it, and it just had to be pushed a little bit further. And with his advice and everything, his support over the years, it's led me to really just push forward and actually be very strategic and maneuver throughout this industry.
So what's the best piece of advice that you
Mhm.
received from Tommy Hilfiger?
Best advice I would say is you got to keep on moving, keep going, don't give up, dream big, um, and design something that's memorable. Yeah, that has an impact. Always remain being yourself. Yep. No, yep. Remain being yourself, and bringing that to bringing that to fashion, changing the game, build your own narrative, those things are really important. And that's the advice I give to young designers today. Like, find out what's your strength and move forward with that, and
Mm.
don't give up. Hmm.
Yeah, those are great. Great insightful gems that he received, well, he gave you and you received, and now you give to others. I just love that. And when we talk about collaborations, another big collaboration you had was with visual artist Shavante Royster to unveil the
Yeah.
first ever Bombay Sapphire holiday window display in Soho, which for those
Yeah.
who don't know is literally like the fashion mecca of New York City. So tell us
Hmm.
about this collaboration, how it came about, and what it is.
Well, the thing is, the main focus was like, I love Soho. To me, Soho is a place that I go when I want to hang out or get inspiration, or, just chill out and catch a vibe. Um, we wanted to like really bring back the light into Soho and really shine light on Soho, because during the pandemic, everything was like a lot of stores went out of business and it was just a little dark, and we wanted to light it up for the holiday season. And we wanted to do it big. We wanted to actually, cross collaborate through across the board, from everything from fashion, art, and dance. And how I think, with the dancers being dressed in my pieces, and also doing that amazing window with the bespoke pieces for Bombay, it was a great combination, and what that energy, and we brought color and art all together. And I feel like that really, really spoke to the community and spoke to the people. Me walking past one of the stores, and while the dancers were dancing, and seeing people's reaction of like staring at the windows, and also like trying to get into the door, and question like how can they get these pieces, or how can they see more. I think it definitely brought back a lot of like that in store, in person kind of energy of people actually wanting to like actually shop in store indoor. um, I think that was really great. And I think we really did a great job. And I think each day it gets better. Like, more, I get DMs or text messages of, oh, I've seen the window and it looks nice. And, it was something I expected, because it was actually new pieces that no one has seen before. So it's very exclusive. And I think the colors and the art together, and the rainbows, and that kind of really like really icy ski slope kind of vibe, it all came together to kind of really have people's eyes and, cultivate a great audience.
Yeah, no, that's so dope. And I love how you put emphasis on like bringing us back to in-person shopping, because I think especially during quarantine, like we were all
Yeah.
locked in and we were all
Yeah.
ordering online even more so. Do you feel
Mhm.
like people have a desire to get back into stores, or are we all just so comfortable using Amazon Prime where it's like,
Drop in the door real
and
quick.
shopping on Instagram now?
Honestly, I think absolutely, yeah. A lot of people that I know, I'm more of an in person. I love going in stores, and I
So you
think for
can
this
feel the
holiday,
fabric, and
yeah, you
connect with
could
the
feel it, you could
pieces.
try it on, and it's actually better for the stores and the brands because it's, some people are like they buy things and then when you get it in the mail, it's like it's not the same. So I feel like that in person, I think people really miss that over the time of the lockdown and everything, and people actually want to feel like they can see people again and actually go into the
Okay.
store, try on something, dress up to actually go and shop. I've been seeing a lot of, I have friends and I also know a lot of people that they're like, well, they dressed up actually to go out and just, drink some champagne and, go shopping. And that made them feel a little bit more like it took their mind away from everything that's going on in the world and also from work because a lot of everyone's been back at work and they just actually want to enjoy and absorb every moment and feel like, they're living again.
Right. And have that shopping experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely feels good.
Yeah.
Romeo, earlier you were talking about how you went to the British Fashion Awards, right? You talked about your collection with Tommy Hilfiger. You were also at the Met Gala. I mean, this
Yeah.
is 2021 has been such a phenomenal
It's been
year for
busy.
you.
Yeah.
And I wanted
Yeah.
to ask you, in just the larger scheme of things, what does it feel like to be a
Mhm.
Black designer in today's fashion industry?
To me, it's becoming more comfortable. I expressed this before, and when I first started, it was really uncomfortable. I bumped into so many like bumps in the road and uncomfortable experiences in my career. But I've learned, and then also those experiences really disciplined me to become a better designer. It brought out more of my strongest points and my point of view of me being more confident and stronger of knowing and understanding what I'm doing and the barriers and the doors that I'm breaking down for opportunities for others. And also, I have a strong voice of I could utilize my platform to do so many things and to also make a big change in the fashion industry. That's really important to me. And also I feel like that also is a reminder of and it keeps me motivated of moving forward and pushing forward and making a big change and not just making a big change, having an impact on fashion and that bringing something refreshing and also pushing innovation like something bring something to the table. I feel like that sometimes fashion could it was going through an era of like it was getting a little watered down and I think it's also it's been a lot of change lately and I feel like we're really shaking the room. I could speak for myself and other designers of color that we're the game changers and with what I just did with Tommy, that was just that's history, man. Like, it's epic. And it was not just the clothes, it was all about the impact too, as well. Like, working with talents across the board, partnering with the People's Place program on like supporting BIPOC community and also giving a lot of under like recognized talents, whether it was models and or photographers or stylists, giving them the opportunity not just behind the camera but in front of the camera. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, when I look at the fashion industry today and I see what you're doing, Romeo, I see Laquan Smith, I see Kirby, and I just feel like it's definitely been a renaissance, not just in Black fashion, but
Mhm.
conscious fashion, right? Because you
Yeah.
guys wear who you are on your sleeve, whether it's Brooklyn, social justice. We are seeing
Mhm.
that on runways, we're seeing it on red carpets, we're seeing that in high fashion. Do you feel like now is actually an easier or better time to get into the fashion industry as a Black designer?
Yes, but one thing I can say just it's good to just really pay attention to everything that's going on, be inspired and know you can do it too. And really just like, have that confidence because the industry is not that easy to crack into. It looks easy on the outside of like when people see like, these amazing celebrities and, us walking these amazing red carpets. It was a lot of work. Like, I had to put in a lot of work. It's not so easy as it looks.
Do you ever feel, Romeo, that your work has been overlooked or hasn't gotten the attention it deserves? I mean, if you were a white designer, do you think that it would have been, a little easier or different?
Um, Honestly, I'm gonna agree. I do feel like in the beginning, like it was times I was like, "What the hell is going on here?" But I feel like, that also it disciplined me a lot to like, push forward, continuing to like believe in myself and believe in my team and, believe in the people that was in my corner. Like to have Tommy Hilfiger in your corner and to, I'm his protege now. It definitely makes you know, like if he's been in the game for ages, for decades, and to have him in my corner and hearing his advice, like you got it. They will see it. One thing about the industry, it's very much like, they see you, but you got to keep on doing your thing and build yourself, build your integrity, build your branding. And I think that it will all work out. It's not just the industry. You're not dressing the industry. You're dressing people at the end of the day. You're building your following, and you're cultivating an audience. You're cultivating a customer, a client. And that's something that I feel like that was like my gem. Like, I built a celebrity VIP client very early in the game. And I think that also shocked the industry too, of like, first season in, we were dressing Beyonce, Zendaya, and then, to be a part of so much history, to be a part of Michelle Obama's documentary, to, be the first Black designer to collaborate with Tommy. And the list goes on, like NBA players, I did not really see my men's collection starting so early in the game. It really was organic. It was like we started from Victor Cruz and it went on to, everyone, James Harden, shout outs to all the NBA players, football players, baseball players that shop the brand and that are our clients today and that has been supporting the brand so much. And also like, from actress to a lot of my clients, I actually got to like it was a small capsule at the time, small collection. It grew over the time and they actually seen the collections grow and get better and better each season. And I feel like, that just build the connection so much. And it also built a lot of, like with me doing international pop-ups all around the world, it built a lot of connection with my clients. And my clients, they count on me and they know that I'm gonna always keep them fresh, always keep them dope and fly. So
Oh yeah, yeah. And
yeah.
Romeo, I would be remiss to not mention Virgil Abloh. When we talk about iconic Black fashion designers, he definitely was that person, right? And when it comes to just transforming the fashion industry, um, what has his loss meant to the fashion industry, and what has his loss personally meant to you?
So the fashion industry, we definitely lost. To me, we lost the icon. Virgil has broken down so many barriers for designers like me and all designers that we all dreamed about this, and our dreams are coming through. Virgil actually, was able to do a lot of things and break so many barriers in so many areas in the fashion industry and really just change the game. Like, who would have thought that, you walk into a Louis Vuitton store and you can actually see a mannequin that looks like you, Black features and celebrated and the beauty of street and urban wear and everything across the board on such a big scale. I think that is amazing. And, I don't think the industry would be the same without Virgil, but at the same time, I feel like he has definitely left a message for all of us young Black designers of saying, like, carry the, push culture forward, carry, like, I broke this down, I broke these walls down for you. Take this and go ape shit with it, you know. Um, to me personally, I think, same thing. I believe that, he has started it and it's for us to kind of continue pushing forward. And I feel like the first thing my reaction was like, I was shocked. And It was more like, okay, I do feel like it's my responsibility to, push culture forward and continue bringing light to everything, to everything that was like, Black and the culture and, you know, as for what is fly to me, what's dope to me, bringing that to the forefront and making that luxury, making that beautiful and taking it international.
Okay, Romeo, and I know we do have to let you go. But before we do, I wanted to just touch on something that I read that I thought was really pivotal. I read that you turned down 2 full athletic scholarships in track and field to attend the Fashion Institute of Technology. How did you sort of come to that decision and believe in yourself so much at a young age to know I'm going to pursue not just, your passion, but an industry that has historically not been inclusive to
Mm-hmm.
people that look like us?
Mm-hmm.
And what advice would you share to other young emerging Black designers so that they too can believe in themselves that much?
I think it all really started with I think, fashion is a given. And I feel like when, you feel it within you. And when it came down to it, a lot of the guys in my family were all athletics. They were all like athletes and they were all doing either playing basketball, football. They all were doing that. And I really kind of wanted, running track and field, I was fast. It was a hobby and it was something that was effortless. It was in me as well. But I just really wanted to do something that would really be a kind of a challenge in a way. I knew it was going to be a challenge, but also I knew that, I could probably make history. That was one thing I think at a young age, I was like, I could be, just like, I could invent something, I'll bring some to the table and really change the game. Not just that, it was like I was really inspired by a lot of like my mother kind of introduced me to a lot of fashion designers at a young age. I watched full frontal fashion. I compared my designs to like the designs that would walk the runway each season. And once I started at FIT, a lot of my professors would tell me, "You're way advanced." Like it was like, no, yeah, you're way advanced. You have an eye. You have an eye that a lot of the other students and your colleagues, they don't really have that vision. And on top of that, I was really immune to a lot of great fabrics. Like I was, I had an eye for fashion or not an eye for detail, an eye for different fabrics and textures. And I was already mixing fabrics because I used to upcycle a lot of my mother's old clothes when I was younger. So it was just something that I feel like, I think they all seen it in me from day one. Even before I even started like going to like fashion school or anything, I think even my teachers up to this day, I bumped into a few of my like old teachers from like middle school, and they even said I always knew you was gonna be a fashion designer. Like I knew it'd be something in fashion because it would be like every day they'll like really get into like, oh wow, like what is this? Where did you get this from? Or like, I always had like a really cool, dope personal style. So it's always been there. And my advice to younger designers, I would say, is like find what's in you and what really drives you to be a designer and push that forward, believe in it. Don't listen to anyone, believe in yourself, because honestly, I didn't have that much support in the beginning. It was very much like everyone was like, are you sure you want to do this? And I think they were more concerned of like, they didn't want me to be like, for like, anyone reject me or didn't accept me, it will kind of hurt me, or like it would, it would be kind of like disappointing for me. So, I think that they thought that, but as when I first started, like, as when I got my feet wet and I started to work more deeper and doing personal shopping for luxury stores and freelance styling, I think they knew I had a certain level and a certain taste and where I wanted to be. I think they kind of knew the price point too, and that was another thing that they were like, "Are you sure?" Because I see what you want to do and what you're creating and the price point, and I was just like, "Yeah, I guess I'll be the first Black designer that with a $3,000 coat." um, and I just believed in that, and I knew I could do it, and I knew what I was bringing to the table. The customer will fall in love with it, and I created something to fill a void. in the customer's closet, and that I really pay attention to a lot of my clients. And that was one thing that I would say, pay attention to your client, because those are the ones that you're addressing at the end of the day. Like a lot of noise is, you can get into the industry and the noise can really distract you, but stay focused.
Yeah, no, I love that, Romeo. How can we
Yeah.
buy and shop the Tommy Romeo capsule collection and anything else that in any of your other collections that you have out right now?
Yeah, so like everything's available on romeohunt.com, um, and also selfishes.com, tommy.com as well. And Farfetch, we have also we did a partnership with Farfetch that did really, really good. It's a capsule of like a lot of cool upcycled pieces and deconstructed, reimagined like pieces that I created exclusively for Farfetch. And also, like right after the collections drop, you catch it on Moda Operandi.
Amazing, amazing. Well, thank you again for your time. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
speaking to you here on the New Norm. Take care.
Thank you so much.